Good Friday to you all. This is December 8th, 2017, but this is going to be the third round of the Tinseltown Open for 2018. This is the Tenacious Golf Tour here on the Tabletop Baseball Plus channel. I'm Tenacious Earl, your host. So this is in theory, or in the simulation date. It's March 10, I believe it is. That would be the date. Yes, March 10. So we're playing this sort of in advance of reality. Unfortunately, it's the way it goes. But we've got, by my tally, based on, somehow I have 86 in this batch here. I'm supposed to have 84 at this point, so I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we will be thinning it out one way or the other here. What's going to happen is that we're going to do the third round rolls to get under the 70, to get under sort of the 80 cap or the 79 cap on the cut. Whatever the lowest designation or designations are, to be able to get us into that sort of 70 to 80 realm. That's what we'll do. We'll make those guys cut casualties. And we're going to just go ahead and take care of this. So we've got two outstanding golfers, Ian Robards and Greer Copeland III. They will be in their own pile for this determination. And what we'll do in this video is we'll do the third round, and then we will set up the scorecard for the final round. Kind of get and probably even roll off any tourney perks or issues. Because if we have one come up, if we have a till further notice come up, it will knock somebody out. I don't think that the oldest Myung Cho, he may have made the cut. Actually, him and Delmo Mazzanti, I think, both did make the cut. So, could potentially, if they make the final 12, it could impact them. Because if a couple of TFN perks or issues come up, then they will come off of that designation. So, we'll be right back here in just a second. I'm going to set up the camera, and we will roll off here for the third round and get set for the final round of the 2018 Tinseltown Open here in the Hollywood Hills. If you remember back to December of last year, this area was just ravaged by some wildfires, some wicked videos back then. We're through to March, and the area is still recovering, but yeah, it's okay. We're through, and we're going to try to make this work at Sunset Canyon, but right now we're just going to do this third round and then simulation, and so we'll be right back here in just a second with that third round. Alright, I guess I didn't mute that, but that's okay. Now, I've set this up a little differently this time. So, I don't see any comments yet, which is perfectly fine. But, so what we're going to do, and let's see, we have one person kind of interloping here, which is great. I hope this is something that you will find interesting. Maybe this is somebody who's trying to run a History Maker tournament themselves. So these are the two golfers that are outstanding. We're going to put them in their final pairing right over here. Basically just off the screen. I only have so much room here. I printed this off. This is Al Wilson, a big-time player with double A's. He has come up with some of these tournament. He's got a lot of different charts and tournament mats and things like that you can use. And so this is his. I'm probably. I don't know if I can move this camera anymore. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let me try this just a little bit too. All right, so what we can do is we're going to set it up after this round over here on this mat, so it'll be fine. We'll be good. So okay, so first off, what we need to do is we need to take all the cards here and shuffle them up, get them randomized as best we can. I really should look into getting some talc and see if I can use that to help make handling these player cards a little better, because it is a little bit of a challenge. They don't like to. They prefer to hang with each other, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to shuffle this a couple more times. Could have shuffled it offline, but see, I mean, this is what I'm trying to do here is just but you can see they just kind of they're a little rigid for shuffling. You know what I mean? It's like and they're a little thick for shuffling, but you know, this isn't anything new. Anybody who's played this game kind of realizes it's not easy to use the cards in that fashion, but you do the best you can. And okay, so we need to get it into 7 piles here, and then we'll have the other one here. So try to do 2 even piles to start. Do 2 more. Okay, and then we'll do so there's 7. I'm going to try and even them out a touch. Okay, this one's a little light. That one's still a little light there. Let's take a card off of each of these. Okay, that's pretty good. So we got 8 piles here. 7 that will be the random cards, and then we've got the other one right here, just off the screen. Actually, what I could do is move this. I got plenty of room here to operate to the left, so let's just move everything over some. There, so we got our outstanding guys over here on the right. Okay, so again, I like to kind of keep score of how many we're getting. Actually, no. What I like to do is write down for this the attorney perks guys. And we don't worry about injuries at this point in it. So what we need is our chart here for the 3rd round. It's right here, and we roll 2 6-sided dice. Some of them will have the attorney issues and perks, which are the little exclamation. Well, actually, they're not I think they're lightning bolts. Yeah. Others won't, but you'll have some will be top golfers, some will be draw golfers, to institute some randomness to it. And tell you what, I think for the moment this. Give me a second. not sure that this mat is going to be best for viewing dice, so I'm going to flip it over for now, and we'll put it back once we get this. So here we go. Pile number 1. So 15 means we get a draw golfer contends with the A designation. Then the top golfer will be at A minus, and then the others will finish at C minus. So, and then that contender that's drawn will have a tourney issue or perk. So let's I'm going to pull these guys down here so I can put the cards out where you can see them, and then we can do the D20 roll. As I said, I'm a little so one. I think what happened last time is that I didn't look. So I probably had a couple of cards that got pulled in that were stuck together, because the second time that I ran it, I didn't I didn't as diligently look to make sure that there weren't cards sticking together. So let's see, there's that one. Okay, so we've got 5, 10, 11. All right, so we're going to have to roll 1 to 11 here. So it'll be one of these draw golfers. If it's above 11, we're going to re-roll. So let's take a look. It's a 4. So the fourth one, which will be this one right here, is going to have tourney perks and issues, but will also be at the A. And it's going to be Dave Simanowicz Jr. So we'll write this down in the book here. And, okay, now we need the top golfer will be at A minus. So Millwood is a 4C. Duncan Kramer, a 5B. Okay, Granbury is a 1B. So he's got a good likelihood of being that top golfer. There's 3s, another 3. I think Emmerich would be the only guy. Well, you could also have another 1B, which would. There's Almeida, Clive Kenny. So, yeah, Granbury is going to be the A- golfer, and then everybody else will finish their tournament at the C- designation. So, and all that means, so that means Mateo Soto, who was he had earned an exemption from his top 10 finish. He won't have a top 10 finish here, so he'll go back into the qualification pool next time. Okay, so now pile number 2. Let's crank up the D6s and go. Okay, so that's a 45. And a 45, okay, another draw golfer contends with A-. Top golfer contends with A, and the others will finish with a D+. So let's, and the draw golfer will again have will be a tourney issue / perk person. And like I said, we will roll those before this video is through, so that way any TFN data that comes out of that will allow someone, if they happen to make the cut here, and well, not make the cut, but happen to make the final pairings, that they would that would come off of their. Like there's a couple Stormy guys, there's, we just want to be able to pull that off of them if we can. So, the draw golfer, we've got, also have 11 in this one. So, again, 1 through 11, we'll re-roll over 11 here with the D6. It's an 8, if you can see that. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is going to be the one who will be at, they won't be in the lead group, but they will have a tourney issue or perk, and that is Franz Hackel. So two new faces here in the group, Simanowicz and Hackel. And now we got to go for the top, and the top's going to be up there with Simanowicz. So we will flip them over. There's Heath Sommers of 1B. And it looks like so far he is the top guy. I don't know if there's going to be any others. No, there's a couple of my created cards in this one. It's going to be Heath Sommers who goes to the A. And everybody else is going to finish with a D+, I believe was the... Yes. And that will be that. So far we have 4 golfers in the A's. Okay, so pile number 3. I'm going to take a card off of 4 because this is 3 feels light. Let's make sure that we do this right. Okay, so 26, draw a golfer, will contend with A-, others finish with B-. So no top golfer from this group. I'm going to check the comments here. We got Craig, RNGIDP. Hey, ID Jester. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad that I'm able to help you out here, Craig. And I got to check and make sure that we're... So, now the trouble is that by doing this, I can see what the golfers' names are, and see who would potentially get, like this pile here is a rough one as far as we're only going to have a draw golfer. No top designation will get through. So, okay. We have, and so I pulled 1 out of the 4 pile. There's 10 now, or there was 9 before. So we're going to be able to roll straight up 1 through 20. And, it'll just roll over at 11. So here we go. Draw golfer. I'm going to leave this up here with a 26. So the draw golfer contends with an A-. Actually, I should put it over here. And you don't see it. It's a 19. So I was trying to roll. I'm afraid it's going to go off over here. And so I rolled it and momentum took it this way. So 19 is this guy here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9. It's going to be Zephaniah Scott. What a name. Zephaniah Scott. Make sure 26 contends with A-. So he will be in this. Interesting name. And let's see who's going to miss. Slattery, who is a qualifier. Wyatt Sells. Sonny Lemons. Gareth Leonard, a 1B. Palmiro Cavallari, we had a tournament with him in the final groups. Jeffrey Hahn. Chico Fonseca. Alardo Huerta. And Enrique Magallanes. Okay, well, he won at San Diego. He's going to finish 26 means that he finishes with B-. So he may actually, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he gets in the top 10. Magallanes. Anybody with a 1 in that B- group is going to, when we do the tournament rating, when we do the leaderboard method to finish out tournament mode, you factor in what your target score is, and then that gives you a number plus the tournament rating. So a guy with a 1 tournament rating is going to be lower, and so a lot of times that score or that position will kind of vault above guys up here who have faltered. So, all right, so this is pile number 4. We'll be halfway through. We still have what? We have 5. I'd like to have 12. So we'll see. So a 15. This will be a nut. This is the same one we had the first one. So it's going to be draw is going to be an A, and we'll have a perk or issue. And let me double check these. Again, I think I pulled a couple of extra cards in here because I was in a hurry the other night. So I didn't do my hold it up to the light thing to make sure that you can see the name through the other side. And so I think I might have pulled an extra card. It's okay, because like I said, the last designation will help us get down, and we'll toss them into the cut pile. Okay, I'm trying to get everybody on the screen here. Still think this pile is probably a touch on the heavy side here. All right, well. So there, I think I got everything. Let's see, it's 5, 10, 12 in this one. So we're going to draw, and it'll be 1 to 12. Above a 12, we'll have to re-roll. It is a 6, so that will be this one right here. Stuart Ash. Someone on the Play forum on Facebook had remarked about, I guess they had played some tournaments without having a golfer, let's say above maybe a 2, win a tournament or whatever, and it's like we've had a 4B in Nishiki Kawahara. So there's Jefferson. So now so the draw golfer with the 15 goes to A. Now the top golfer will be at A-. So let's flip all these over. And, well, there's Adam Trenchard with a 2B. We'll see if anybody else comes up here that's got a higher rating than that. Oh, Honorado has a 2A, if you can't see it there. All right, so Gail Honorado will slot in there at the A-. And Trenchard, who won our first tournament at Napa Valley, is going to finish at C-. So put them on top of this other pile. Try to make sure that we don't cross them. Okay, so now pile number 5. That means we now have 7 golfers in those 2 piles. So if we get another 2, that'll be 9, 11, 13, 14. We probably will have some with 1 here eventually. Let's see. So 36. So the top golfer will contend with an A-. The low golfer will finish with a D-. So I'll just spread these out here so that way we make sure that we're everybody can see what's going on. And then everybody else will finish with C-. So there's going to be a lot of C- golfers, eh? Bob Demmelmeyer with a 2B is currently the top golfer in the pile here. So Burke Yielding doesn't beat him. Demmelmeyer, by the way, is Merida will tie him there. So, but Demmelmeyer is a qualifier for the record. And here's Tyler Gentry, not going to be. Cliff Pettibone, Porter Davies, 5A, and Jason Olinger is a 4B. So the 5A is going to be Porter Davies. He's going to finish with a D-. He's the low golfer. Now the top golfer is a tie between Kenji Morita and Bob Demmelmeyer. We'll put the rest of these golfers on the C-. And what we need to do here is The ties, I believe we roll the decide or die, and a dot means that you put them in. We will put the golfer in that A minus. No dot means put them in B plus, I believe is the designation, but let me double check. Tie. Yeah, contend with B plus. Okay, so Demelmeyer, will he be in that A minus grouping? Yes, he will. And now Kenji Morita. No, he will not. So he's going to be down at B plus. And based on the number of golfers we're getting, probably Morita will be in this emerging contenders potentially. So pile 6. Another 15. We've had 3 15 rolls, so we'll get another tourney perk on a draw golfer. So trying to do this in a somewhat, what do you want to call it, suspenseful fashion. As suspenseful as I can make this, as it's really only setting up the final round. Okay. Well, and we can also think of one person that we haven't seen yet. So he's got to be in either this pile or the next pile. So we draw, and we've got 5, 10, 12. So here we go with the roll. It's a 14, so we will re-roll the D20. It's a 2, so the second golfer off will have a tourney perk, but will also be at A, and that is Duke Vernon. So some fresh faces here in. We don't have an A plus yet, so and we're gonna have the top golfer now get into the A minus. So will Dustin Emmerich be in this? If he's not in this, he's got to be in that the 7th pile that we have there. There's Yun Lee Song, a 1B. He may be your top golfer in this pile, because we'll just have to see. And that is the case. So Yun Lee Song will go in A minus, and that's 2 more. I think that brings us up to 9. Actually, it may bring us up to 10. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. But this C minus pile is huge right now. It's going to be a log jam there at about 8 back, I guess, probably. So, all right. So one more roll here, at least for the randomized piles. 66. Top golfer will be at B plus. Low golfer finishes with D minus. Oh boy. So Emmerich should be in here. We can just flip these over, and he's going to probably be the top golfer, and he's going to be at B plus, which is going to mean he's an emerging contender at the very best. There's Emmerich there. So, I mean, we don't even really need to look at the rest of these except to check out the low golfer, because the low golfer will finish low. And I mean low. And it might be Dewey Sow there. We got Bruno Cortez as well. Well, we're going to put both of those guys down there in the bottom rung. So, let's see, Marshall Weber, Myung Cho. Okay, right there is a guy that may have his till further notice wear off here. Martin Van Dyke, a 1C, gets another bad break there. So it's going to be Emmerich, who is going to go to a B plus, which is here. He might miss out on the final groups. Low golfer finishes with D-. Well, that's going to be the 2 5Cs. Dewey Hassau, Bruno Cortez. And then others finish with D. Well, guess what? These guys here that are going to finish with D, they will comprise the rest of our cut. There's 3 golfers there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That should get us down into the 70s. So that's good. As far as I'm concerned. Oh, don't have a problem here. We want to make sure that okay. Just want to make sure the piles don't. I've kind of condensed these things here some. Okay, there we go. And so now we've got the two-person outstanding golfer pile. So we will roll this off and see what comes of this. Okay, 35. So the draw golfer contends with an A. Top golfer contends with an A-. And that's where it's going to end. So we'll just have, this is just going to just tell us who gets the top golfer, or who gets, so the draw golfer is going to be up here with those guys, and then whoever the top golfer is will be there. So, or whoever's left. So let's roll this. 1 to 20 is fine. It's an 11, so Greer Copeland will be here, and 35 does not give him a tourney perk. And Robards will be there, and I think that will do it as far as the piles, and I think we may have enough between these two to have our pairings. So I can turn this over. As you can see, this nice little tournament mat, I don't know how well it shows up on, I'm going to have to look at the video afterwards, see if it shows up well. We have the star here, 1 stroke back, 2 strokes back, 3 strokes back, yada, yada, yada. And so what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to take A and A-. Actually, I'll just take all these guys and set them down here for the moment. And then what I like to do after that is take one of my empty little baggies here that I use to store the cards. And I take everything that's not going to be, everything that's basically out of contention, and I pile them like so. I take the card that was underneath and I put it on top. And so I know that those guys are B- golfers. The C+ will go under here. The C. Now C-, that's a big crew. Now the other thing I've been doing in determining my out of contention scores is to hold off until we get a final score, and to try to make sure that we aren't, because if a bunch of guys that are in the final groups shoot poorly, then probably most of the field did too. So, all right, so I'm putting these guys in the bag, assuming they'll all fit. Okay, good, they will. So I'll put this up here. Okay, so I'll move this out here to the center. Okay, now 2 more things we need to do. We do the contending golfer scoring key. Now, my calculation for the target score for this tournament is a 265, which is a -15. So 265 is in this particular bracket here. So this instructs us that A- or A+ would be you roll the decider die, and if it's a dot on an A+, it would be a 197 or a 198 with blank. Well, we don't have any A+. All we have are A's, A-, and B+. So what we'll do is start with, so it's 199 or 200. And so we will just go in order here with Greer Copeland III. And so he will be at the higher score, or the lower score, I guess is what you should say. And he's going to be in the lead as everybody else. I mean, there's no way that anybody else is going to be higher than that. So Duke Vernon now, he'll also be tied for the lead at 199. Now Stuart Ash, also tied. Heath Summers, nope. He'll be one back, 200. And for the record, 71 times 3 is 213. So 199 is a 14 under par, if my calculation in my head is correct. So Dave Simanowicz Jr., okay, he'll also be tied for the lead. So a four-way tie for the lead. Now we're going to take our A minuses, and we have 5 golfers here. So now the A minuses are going to be, oh, that's weird actually. The spacing is, maybe it's, you know why? I know why. It's because I didn't make it. I need to print it out like full page. So that's okay. I probably need some new printer ink anyway, because this looks a little grainy. So Ian Robards next. This will be between 2 shots back and 3 shots back. He'll be 2. Yun Lee Song, also 2. Bob Demelmeyer, also 2. Boy, I think we've gotten now what? We've rolled 8, and we've gotten 7 of 8 being the dot. Now, Gail Honorado, another dot. Zephaniah Scott. No, there's one. It's going to be 3 back. And Franz Hockel. Okay, so there we go. Oh, there's another golfer there, too. My bad. Gil Granbury. So, okay. Come back with 3 in a row. So now we've got 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's going to be our leaderboard. What we're going to do with Dustin Emmerich and Kenji Morita, only 2 there, right? Yes. We're going to hold them for the emerging contenders, but this is going to be our pairings. It's a really really tight leaderboard here. If you didn't notice, it definitely did. But we did here at the end get a little bit of a correction. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but I guess that's called probability, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So, okay, now what I need to do is roll our perks. So I'm going to write them down here in the book. Got to rewrite things here, so I'm just taking a short pause to do that. Okay, now if anybody who's watching after the fact or whatever wants to see what these perks look like, what we do is we roll 1d6, and we will roll it a couple times. So the first time it will put us to a category, and then we will roll it again, and it will narrow it down. So for instance, like the media, it's got all these guys. Now, anything that has the question mark means that you roll the decider die, and if it's a bullet, then it becomes a till further notice issue. So what I'll do is I'll put this right over here, and I'll use the white D6, and we're going to start with Dave Simanowicz Jr. He is in the lead. He's right down here, if you can see at the bottom of your screen. It's a 50-50 split. ID Jester. It should be 50-50. We got 8 and 4, so it's not a 2/3 at all. I'll show you. It's if you can see here, these 3 don't have dots, and if you flip it over, those 3 do. So, all right. So Semanowitz is going to be internal. That's intangibles on a 6, and so now we will roll again and see what. And it's a 4. Yeah, you guys should be able to see that. That's a 4. So that means he is going to be a gold putter, so he is going to, and it's only for the final round only, but that is one nice perk to have there. So feeling very confident with his putter. You probably can't see his card much because it's off the screen, but you can see he is got it together except for his around the green, and he's also a young guy. But I mean, this is someone that with a gold putting rating, that's going to be. Heath Summers has a gold putting rating too, but I mean that could be a coup for him. That we'll see if he can use that to his advantage. So now we've got Franz Hockel, who is here. And another 6, so another intangibles. Internal. And guess what? He's also going to be a gold putter, but he's semi-gold, so he only just gains a half a step on, or if you want to see it as that, you can. That's amazing that those 2 rolls came up. Again, that's quite remarkable. Okay, so now Stuart Ash, who is also in the lead, and Duke Vernon. So these 3 guys are going to have perks or issues. So it's a 1, so it'll be caddy. Oh. Slippery die. Slippery die. Oh. So we're going off the caddy chart. That's got 3 potential TFN rolls. So it's a 6. Caddy conflict, no blue chips this round. Ooh, that's not good. Well, that could put a real damper on his day, not being able to earn blue chips. So if you're familiar with the blue chip stuff, it can very much improve your putting, can very much help you navigate some tough holes or take advantage of some easier holes if you use them right, or it can at least give you a chance to do those things. Okay, so lastly, Duke Vernon. Another 1, so off the caddy chart, and I'm showing you here, I am shaking this up, and it's a 4. Start the round with, okay, we got to re-roll this. So many red chips, so let's roll it here. How many red chips will Duke Vernon start with? 2, so... So no till further notice issues here. Going to have a bunch of things that are what do you want to call it? Just some single round stuff here. So we're going to use pairings this week. So this is the 2018 Tinseltown Open at Sunset Canyon. The Country Club of the Stars. And tell you what, while we're at it, let's see what the weather's going to be like for the final round. So we have to use the back page of the game book has the weather, and you can see that there's a bunch of different designations. We are in March, and this is It's going to either be desert or arid, or I don't think this is. I don't know. It's tough to tell. Los Angeles could be both considered desert or also marine West Coast. I mean, when you see marine West Coast, when they say United Kingdom, that makes me think more rainy, like up in the Northwest. I think really what we need to do is right here, desert or arid. And so we will roll 2 D6s. Oh, boy, I'm going to lose one of these dice before all is said and done here. So we roll 2 D6s. As you can see, for March, these combinations will add some potential positives or negatives to the situation. So let's roll it out here. 56 is, oh, here we go. 56 is EX, which is exemplary conditions. So let's put it down here. Is there a smog result? No. So exemplary conditions. Daunting and semi-daunting holes made 1/2 quality easier, and follow-up putts are made 2 levels easier. Ooh. So we're going to have some good scoring. So good day. So follow-up putts are made 2 levels easier. So when I'm gonna have to ask a question of somebody, probably what means by follow-up. I assume that means second putts. So let's say you have a double difficult putt for birdie. You could roll that out and you would end up with an easy par putt instead of a follow-up putts. So that would be a difficult putt, would be 2 easier, so it'd be an easy. So it's going to give us some opportunities to roll out some putts for birdie that we wouldn't normally do. That's kind of interesting. So let's real quick set up the leaderboard here. What I'll do is I'll tilt this some more this way so you can see it. So tied for first is going to be Copeland, Vernon, Ash, and Simanowicz. And they were at 199, I believe, was... that is correct, 199. So then 5th place will be Heath Somers. So then tied for 6th at 201 will be Robards, Lee Song, Demelmeyer. He's a qualifier, and Honorado. And then, let's see, that's tied for 10 is going to be Scott, and he'll be at 202 along with Hockle and Granberry. Okay, so let's set our pairings as well. What I will do is okay, we're gonna roll four dice if we need to, but we'll do 3 to start. So we're gonna do white, black, green. So the lowest die will go first. Will be the one that goes into the second pairing. So white, black, green. We're going to go basically on the way that you read them in the game typically. Okay, so we've got a tie between Hockle and Scott, so we will re-roll. So Granbury will be in the first pairing, and we'll put him last. Re-roll is Scott and Hockle again, white and black. Okay, so it will be Franz Hockle who gets in the second pairing, and Scott will go with Granbury in the first. So there's that. Now we're going to do, again, this will be white. This time what we're going to do is we're going to do white, black, silver, and green. Honorado will be green. So, is there still a golf course? Oh, yeah, because right, yeah. I mean, this is right near Bel Air. I mean, this is rough stuff. So, okay, well, we said white, so that'll be Robards. Will be with he'll be in the fourth pairing. The third pairing will be made up of Lee Song and Honorado. And since Lee Song is the lower, we'll put him first. Should be showing this up here. And then we've got Demelmeyer will be with Hockle. Remember that, and so we've got Sommers with Robards. Okay, so now again, we're going to do white, black, silver, green, and this will decide our pairings, our final two pairings. So, okay, well, we've got the silver. It'll be Stuart Ash will be the first off in the final pairing. Okay, and we know that last in the fifth pairing will be Copeland, the third, with 6. So we've got 2 3s here, Vernon and Simanowitz, and so we'll see who is going to join Ash. The lower will join Ash, the higher will go with Copeland. All right, so green is lower. That'll be Simanowitz Jr. And then, let's see, it was Vernon. Yeah, Vernon will be in the earlier start. And that's it. So let me just show you here the way that so that's a little different way that I've parsed it out. I think I like that. I like that better. Feels a little more definitive than just rolling decider dice over and over and over again until... now, the other thing we can do is we can mark down here that Simanowitz is going to be a gold putter. You got Ash with no blue. You've got Hockle, who is a gold putter as well, and you've got Vernon, who's going to start with 2 reds. So there, now I can show you this again there with the little markings. So it's be right back here in a second. Hold on, and we'll just have some final thoughts. Oh, well, here we go. So thanks for mentioning that ID Jester. I forgot to hit the mute button to bring the sound back on. I was going to say that what I was saying is that the play folks have play tested this method. It's not, we aren't really playing the golf mechanism here, but what we are but what we do is we set up a the final round pairings, hopefully similar to what you would see on the broadcast. And what I was saying was that we have a relatively decent diversity of the types of golfer. We have 3 4s in the final 6 pairings. 4 ratings, which is low on, those are low golfers. We have 3 3s. We have a couple 2s. No, we have 3 2. Well, we have 3 of everything: 3 1s, 3 2s, 3 3s, and 3 4s. So, I mean, it's quite a diverse grouping here, and I think what you would see that in a real tournament, you're not going to have all your best players. I mean, you've got Sommers, Lee Song, and Granbury, who are all ID Jester, I appreciate that. It's I think it's neat to see how it plays out, and it's just the type of thing that if you tried to play one of these tournaments and roll every hole for everybody, it would take you a year probably to do a tournament. Unless you're in a position where you have a lot of free time, I just think it would be really difficult to roll. You end up having 144 golfers times 2, so that's 288 rounds. Multiply that by 18, and you get the picture. It takes, for me, a foursome takes about an hour, and Joey Perchy, it's sound good. Okay, well, I play these partly for my own enjoyment. I also play these because I'm hoping that there are some people who would have interest in playing a game of golf that they can do on their tabletop, where they don't really need necessarily to have to be, like if you play, I guess now it's Rory McIlroy golf on like your whatever your gaming system is. You have to be good at pressing the button in the right amount of time. Your hand-eye coordination has to be good for this. It's just it's really enjoyable to see how, and these are all fictional golfers, so it makes it, to me, it's even more interesting because I don't have any preconceived notions aside from, you think about the ones, they're going to be better in that they're going to end up in a lot of top 10s and top 25s in tournaments. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to finish well. Some of them are going to be like Sergio, who can have a tough time closing out tournaments, or like Greg Norman, who, if you remember in the 80s, he was just around about in every top 10, top 15, but he just had trouble in the closing holes. So, I really think it's a nice mechanism. I'm going to be doing some other style events down the road. I really want to do someday an international, if you've ever remember the modified Stableford system. If anybody's ever seen that, that's something that was really in play in the 80s, where you get 2 points for a birdie, you lose a point for a bogey. So aggressiveness suits you in that format. I think you get 5 for an eagle, 5 points for an eagle, and you lose 3 for a double. So, you kind of end up, the risk doesn't hurt you as much as the reward helps you. So, it was really great for guys who were a little more, and where they used to play it was in Castle Pines up in Colorado, and it was just one of these courses where, you could reach a 600-yard par 5 and 2 back in the days when 300-yard hitters weren't quite so common. So, I mean, you'd have guys, bombing it on these massive holes, and would, your par fours would, you'd have a couple 500 and some odd yard par fours too that were just because of the thin air made to play a lot easier and just more accessible. So, and like I said, it was the perfect format for that, because you could just go and bomb away, and if you take a double, and actually I think a double is the worst you can take as far as points go. You can only, like, if you took a quad, I think you'd still just lose 3 points. So your risk reward wasn't nearly as drastic as it is in real life. Although, a double bogey's still -3, so if you can get yourself a par, I don't know. All right, I'm going to shut this off. I'm not sure when this weekend I'll start playing this out. We still got to get our accoutrements, set up here for the holiday season. Been kind of putting that off, so been busy. But I'm going to get going. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate this. If you have any questions about this system, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you could like the video, we'd really appreciate it if it's something that you enjoyed and want to see more of. And if you want to see more of our videos, which are mostly based in baseball, subscribe to the channel. That would be your best way to hear as soon as things are ready to pop out onto your little screen or big screen or whatever you're doing there. However you stream YouTube, you'll get a notification right away if we're doing something live, or when something just pops up all of a sudden if we record it offline. So you're welcome, ID Jester. Thanks, Al. Thanks, Joey. Just saw your one comment. If you're new to the channel here, I hope it's something that maybe brings you back. So, and Craig, thanks. You were in here early on. I don't know if you're still around, but appreciate you guys watching. Have a great night. Enjoy your tabletop gaming, and we'll see you soon with the final round of the 2018 Tinseltown Open here on the Tabletop Baseball Plus channel. For Tabletop Earl, I'm Tenacious Earl. See you next time.